She stood on the porch, mascara streaking down her cheeks, hair a mess, voice trembling beneath a rising wave of panic. "It was only a test," she choked out between sobs. I met her gaze, calm, unflinching, cold. "Good." I passed. Then I shut the door. 3 days earlier, I had been standing barefoot in the kitchen, sipping coffee, while she leaned against the counter like the words she was about to speak wouldn't break everything apart. "Let's pretend we broke up," she said casually. "Just for a week, just to feel things out." She made it sound like therapy, like it would be healthy, like it wasn't already a bullet disguised as a question. I didn't argue. I simply nodded. "If that's what you want." That was the last sincere thing I ever said to her. We had been together for 7 years. Brick by brick, we built a life with care and intention. Jazz and pancakes on slow Sunday mornings. Toothbrushes that matched. Her cold feet always tucked between my legs at night. I believed in her more than I trusted anything else in the world. She used to whisper, "Promise me you'll never leave." And I did, and I meant it. But now, I understand what people mean when they say betrayal doesn't always come from behind. Sometimes it looks you in the eye, cups your cheeks, kisses your forehead, then cuts your throat. By the 3rd day, I hadn't called. I hadn't sent a single message. Just sat in the silence, still and grieving like a monk in mourning. Then I saw it, an Instagram story. She was beaming, curled up in the arms of someone I didn't recognize. Some meathead from a gym, wearing a phony, humble grin. His hand was gripping her waist like he owned the very thing I spent years building. The caption? Just one word. Healing. No explanation. No hesitation. Like I'd never existed. I didn't throw the phone. Didn't yell. Didn't shed a tear. Instead, I made a list. First, change the locks. Second, call the lawyer. Third, collect her things. Every single step was intentional. This wasn't a reaction. It was a plan. She wanted distance. I gave her the galaxy. She left to explore her feelings. I made sure she'd come back to nothing. Over the next 48 hours, I changed, pulled her clothes from the closet, folded them with care, packed them neatly into boxes. Her makeup, her shoes, that ridiculous crystal lamp she adored. Everything was handled like evidence in an investigation. Precise. Detached. I placed the boxes by the door, updated the Wi-Fi password, moved our joint savings into a new personal account, left just enough behind so she could call it petty but not criminal. Then I contacted the landlord, had her name removed from the lease, deleted her fingerprint from the smart lock. No shouting, no mess, just steps, clean and final. She had given me a test. She'd get her results. She showed up the next morning, soaked by rain, wearing confusion like a second skin. She laughed nervously, like it was some silly miscommunication, until her eyes landed on the boxes and the lock blinking red. She pounded on the door harder than her words hit. "Open the damn door, babe. Don't be dramatic." I opened it, slowly. She blinked, hesitated, then tried to walk in. I didn't budge. Her eyes darted to the boxes. "What the hell is this?" I held out the key she had left on the counter. She stared at it like it was some alien object. Heavy. Foreign. "This isn't funny. Okay? That post, it didn't mean anything. He's just a friend. It was part of the test. To see how you'd react. To see if you cared." I smiled, not out of humor, but because I finally saw everything clearly. She still thought it was a game. She didn't realize I'd already won. I stayed silent for a moment, then spoke. "You said we should pretend to break up. So I did. You said you wanted to see how you felt. So I'm letting you feel it. You posted him. I posted silence." Her lips trembled. I didn't mean to, but I did. I cut her off. I meant every move I made. She collapsed right there on the welcome mat, hands covering her face. "I messed up," she sobbed. "I thought you'd fight for me." I crouched beside her, just close enough for her to hear the iron in my voice. "I did fight for years. For us. For you. But you were too busy measuring my silence to notice the war I was fighting behind it." I stood up, let her cry. If the neighbors were watching, let them. She earned the spotlight. I didn't yell, didn't insult her. The quiet was louder than any rage. The stillness of someone who had already walked away. She pleaded, apologized, tried to make bargains, said it was a mistake. Maybe it was, but mine wasn't. This was a revenge. Not really. This was reclamation of my dignity, my peace, my backbone. I let her go and didn't ask her to stay. I didn't burn bridges. I just erased my name from the map. She texted for weeks afterward, long paragraphs dripping with guilt, apologies soaked in nostalgia. I didn't block her. I wanted her to know I saw them and didn't care. That's the real sting. Not anger, not revenge, indifference. Now I sleep in the middle of the bed. Jazz still plays on Sunday mornings. Only difference is I dance alone, and that's okay. Because sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone who tests your love is pass the test and let them fail.